Do not judge, and you will not be judged. In the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And the measure you use for others will be used for you. Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye and not see the plank in your own? How can you say to your brother, "Come, let me take out the speck from your eye," as long as that plank is in your own? Hypocrites! Take first the plank out of your own eye, then you will see clear enough to make the speck out of your brother's eye. Do not give what is holy to dogs, or throw your pearls to pigs. They will only trample on them and then turn to attack you. Ask and you will receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened. For everyone who asks receives, whoever seeks finds, and the door will be opened to anyone who knocks. Would any of you give a stone to your son when he asks for bread? Or give him a snake when he asks for a fish? Bad as you are, you know how to give good things to your children. How much more then will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him? So treat others the way you would like them to treat you. There you have the law and the prophets. Enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction. How narrow is the gate and difficult the road that leads to life. Few there are who find it. Beware of false prophets. They come to you disguised as sheep, but inside they are wild wolves. You will recognize them by their fruits. Do you ever pick grapes from the thorn bushes, or figs from thistles? A good tree always produces good fruits. A bad tree produces bad fruits. A good tree cannot produce bad fruits, nor a bad tree good fruits. Any tree that does not bear good fruits is cut down and thrown in the fire. So you will know them by their fruit. Not everyone who says to me, "Lord, Lord," will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, "Lord, Lord, did we not speak in your name? Did we not cast out devils and perform many miracles in your name?" Then I will tell them openly, "I have never known you. Get away from me, you workers of evil." So then, anyone who hears these words of mine and acts accordingly is like a wise man who built his house on rock. The rain poured, the rivers flooded, and the wind blew against that house. But it did not collapse because it was built on rock. But anyone who hears these words of mine and does not act accordingly is like a fool who built his house on sand. The rain poured, the rivers flooded, and the wind blew against that house, and down it went with a mighty crash. When Jesus had finished this discourse, the crowds were amazed at his teaching, because he taught with authority, unlike their teachers of the law. Matthew chapter 8. When Jesus came down from the mountain, large crowds followed him. Then a leper came forward, bowed low before him, and said, "Lord, if you want to, you can make me clean." Jesus stretched out his hand, touched him, and said, "I do want it. Be cleansed." At that very moment, the man was cleansed from his leprosy. Then Jesus said to him, "See that you do not tell anyone, but go to the priest, have yourself declared clean, and offer the gift that Moses ordered as proof of it." When Jesus entered Capernaum, an army officer approached him to ask his help. "Lord, my servant lies sick at home. He is paralyzed and suffers terribly." Jesus said to him, I will come and heal him. The officer answered, I am not worthy to have you under my roof. Just say the word and my servant will be healed. For I am a man under orders myself, and I have soldiers under me. And if I say to one, go, he goes. And if I say to another, come, he comes. And if I tell my servant, do this, he does it. When Jesus heard this, he was astonished and said to those who were following him, I tell you, I have found no one in Israel with faith like this. I say to you, many will come from east and west and sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob at the feast in the kingdom of heaven. But those who belong to the kingdom will be thrown out into the darkness outside. There they will weep and gnash their teeth. Then Jesus said to the officer, go home now. What you believed will happen. And at that moment, his servant was healed. Jesus went to Peter's house and saw Peter's mother-in-law in bed with fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left her. She got up and began to wait on him. When it was evening, they brought to Jesus many possessed by the evil spirits, and with a word he drove out the spirit. He also healed all who were sick. In doing this, he fulfilled what was spoken by the prophet Isaiah. He took away our infirmities and took on himself our diseases. When he saw the crowd press around him, Jesus gave orders to cross over to the other shore. A teacher of the law approached him and said, Master, I will follow you wherever you go. Jesus said to him, foxes have holes and birds have nests, but the Son of Man does not even have a place to lay his head. Another disciple said to him, Lord, let me go and bury my father first. But Jesus answered him, you, follow me, and let the dead bury their own dead. Jesus got into the boat and his disciples followed him. Suddenly, a fierce tempest hit the lake so that the boat was about to sink under the waves. But Jesus was asleep. They woke him and cried, Lord, save us, we are lost. But Jesus answered, why are you so afraid? How little faith you have. Then he stood up and rebuked the wind and the waves, and it became completely calm. The people were astonished. They said, what kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him. When Jesus reached Gadara on the other side, he was met by two demoniacs who came out from the tombs. They were so fierce that no one dared to pass that way. Suddenly they shouted, what do you want with us, you Son of God? Have you come to torture us before the time? At some distance away, there was a large herd of pigs feeding. So the demons begged him, if you drive us out, send us into that herd of pigs. Jesus said to them, go. So they left and went into the pigs. The whole herd rushed down the cliff into the lake and drowned. The man in charge of them ran off to the town, where they told the whole story, also what had happened to the men possessed by the demons. Then the whole town went out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they begged him to leave their area.